If you and your sales team are crashing at 3 p.m., skipping doors by 5, and living off caffeine, you're losing deals every single day. So welcome to Performance Nutrition Training for Door-to-Door Sales Professionals. This is how to feel as sharp at 6 p.m. as you do at 9 a.m. while getting shredded without starving or burning out. This training is for you if you're often running only on stimulants. Think coffee, caffeine, nicotine, energy drinks. This training is for you if you've ever felt an afternoon slump anytime in the last week. This training is for you if you've ever walked away from a pitch or an appointment thinking, damn, I was right there and I blew it. If only I was a little bit sharper because I knew exactly what to say. This training is for you if you've ever skipped doors throughout the day or you skipped making calls because you just didn't have the energy to keep going. And lastly, this is for you if you want to feel as sharp at 6 p.m. as you do at 9 a.m. By the end of this, you're going to have the exact 3-step system that eliminates the afternoon crash and keeps you sharp through 7 p.m., that gives you energy to knock more doors and crush more appointments, and also helps you drop the 25 pounds or more that you're carrying around and get shredded. All of this without burning out. Because your energy is your income. I don't have to tell you this. You guys are walking 5 miles per day, knocking on hundreds of doors daily, and you're doing this 6 days a week. I don't have to tell you, that is one hell of a grind. Seriously, massive volume, massive inputs, and all of this for a 2% conversion rate. What these numbers don't show is you, right? You're expected to always be on, always enthusiastic about whatever you're selling. Solar at 6 p.m. After you've been rejected 47 times, your feet hurt, you're dehydrated, and you know you still have to drive 30 minutes home in traffic to a family that's going to demand your attention. I'll start by saying this. That is not a mindset problem. So what is it? We will get to that. But first, we need to change your mindset about how you're approaching your day because you are a business athlete. You have to feel like one. Think about the things I just said, guys. You guys are working 100 doors a day, 6 days a week. Your energy directly impacts your income. Every day you delay fixing your broken fuel system is money left on the table. So here's what I realized that changed everything. In reality, you guys truly are business athletes. Think about it. NFL players, they train for 16 games a year. You are competing 250 days a year. They walk a few hundred yards per game. You walk 5 miles a day. They get IV fluids, team nutritionists, recovery specialists. And what do you get? A gas station energy drink? LeBron James doesn't slam a donut and coffee before a playoff game. And Tom Brady doesn't skip meals. He doesn't intermittent fast through the Super Bowl. But somehow we expect you to be performing at your peak for 8 hours a day, every day, on whatever random food you grab between doors. That's crazy. So that ends today. If you're going to perform like an athlete, you need to fuel like one. Not complicated, expensive athlete food, just the fundamentals that keep your brain and body running throughout the day. So imagine a future where you have all day energy. You're knocking your last door at 6 p.m. as sharp as you would your first door at 10 a.m. You have mental clarity. Every evening appointment you walk into, you walk in with calm confidence, not fumes, not caffeine jitters. Imagine your team starts recognizing you and they start asking you what you're doing differently. And lastly, imagine getting home, you have energy left for you, yourself, your family, instead of just collapsing on the couch. If you use this 3 systems framework that I'm going to be teaching you, that's exactly what's possible. It's not BS. This works. Here's Antoine. When we first started working together, almost immediately he eliminated his midday slumps. Now he has energy that lasts throughout the whole entire day. And what's crazy is that he dropped 25 pounds in the process, and 2024 became his best year ever, both in fitness and professionally. Another story, Tuan, when we started working together, he gained confidence for bigger risks. And with that new confidence, he opened new sales channels. He took home his first $1 million in profit in 2024. In the process, he also dropped the 10 pounds. And now he actually looks like the sales leader that he truly is. And we can all really relate to Amish here. When he first started, he told me he had zero energy. But then after structuring everything, he started waking up earlier. And now he has that confidence to compete in endurance races. He's got new physical capabilities. And in this whole entire process, over the 6 months, he's dropped over 35 pounds. He went from stuck to enjoying life. These are real people, real results. These guys aren't fitness influencers that you see on Instagram posting gym selfies. They're high performers in their field who build energy and confidence that transform both their bodies and their careers. And I'm the guy who helped get them there. Who am I? My name is Dr. Marlon Peralta. I am an ex-key account manager for a 9-figure distribution company. I'm also a doctor of pharmacy, a performance nutrition coach, and most importantly, a husband and father. But I wasn't always this way. So here's how it all started. I was a key account manager for a 9-figure distribution company. I was managing some of the biggest accounts in my company: BJ's Wholesale, Costco, SteelSeries. These were multi-million-dollar accounts. So on the outside, it looked like I was killing it, right? I was landing these huge accounts. I was sourcing monster deals. I was crushing sales targets. But internally, with all of this momentum, all of this work, all of this success that was happening, internally, I was slowing down and was beginning to impact my results. So here's what my day looked like. I'd wake up at 4 a.m., slam some coffee. By midday, I was crashing. Midweek, Thursday and on, I was basically doing no work. During that time, I was beginning to start to miss deals. I was fumbling negotiations. I had brain fog. I was falling behind on follow-ups. And at night, I would just come home and have uncontrolled binging, uncontrolled snacking. And it's not just me. 70% of sales professionals report these issues. 70% report mental health challenges, things like burnout. And the average sales rep tenure in your industry is like 1 to 2 years, usually. And the problem isn't just rejection. It's running on empty. I recently ran a survey of my audience full of sales professionals, a lot of solar door-to-door guys. And here's what you guys said. For midday crashes, 60% of you, so that's more than half of you guys, are leaving 3 p.m. and on the table and not focusing in on the most important knocking hours of the day. That's crazy. More than half of you are doing that. 50% of you have poor eating habits on the road, and that concerns you. And a staggering 70% are reporting late night hunger or binging at night. And that's not a problem short term per se, but it is a symptom. It's a symptom that you're not fueling yourself properly throughout the day. And so at the end of the day, you need to overcompensate. And that's what that late night hunger and that's what that binging is. Overcompensation for poor fueling throughout the day. And for me, there's a lot of personal stakes at this, right? When I was in this situation. My father, he had 2 heart attacks before the age of 45. He lived a high stress lifestyle, had very short temper, and loved the American diet. And that's what caused all of this. And me, I'm approaching 40 now. I have a young son. And for me, I want my son to look up to me, not lose me by the time I'm 45. Can't be at risk there. And out of nowhere, my CEO at the time at the distribution company dropped a challenge in our group chat. You can see it here. Anyone who wants to come to Puerto Rico and can outrun me in a 2.5-hour jog, I will pay $10,000 to. Let me know who's coming. And that thumbs up sign, that was me. I'm in. And the funny thing was, I was just telling you that I was already burnt out. And now I'm adding marathon training like a madman. So because of this, I nearly broke down because I was pushing way too hard. Here was the realization. I don't force deals. I follow system. And that's how I win in sales. So why am I forcing my energy here? Fortunately, I wasn't starting from scratch. I had 18 years of health and fitness. I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I've worked with tens of thousands of people with metabolic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. So I knew the science of protein anchored nutrition. That's kind of like having a solid opener in sales, right? The opener that you use every single time. I knew about strategic meal timing. That's kind of like knowing exactly when to drop the price during a conversation. And lastly, I knew the importance of structured daily execution. That's kind of like following up with your pipeline, no matter what. But I still had to learn how to apply all of this under sales pressure. And I did. In 8 weeks, here's what happened. I beat my CEO and won the 10K. If you look in the back there, that's him. I had enough time to even take out my phone and snap a selfie. In that time, I also got off the constant caffeine. Too much caffeine was weighing me down. And over those 8 weeks, I set some personal bests. I opened 4 new accounts. And at the same time, I closed $600,000 in deals during the final 4 weeks of marathon training. And that was a personal best for me. And in the meantime, I also got shredded. I dropped 25 pounds. And look at that. I even looked bigger and more muscular after losing 25 pounds, which is crazy to me. And now I'm helping door-to-door sales professionals do the same. That's drop 25 pounds, get shredded, stop crashing in the middle of the day and middle of the week, And also so they can feel better, think clearer, so they can close bigger, better deals and more of them. Because your body isn't just your body. Your body is your brand. And your energy just isn't your energy. Your energy is your income. So let's get into it. To feel as sharp at 6 p.m. as you do at 9 a.m. and finally get lean doing it, you must implement this one framework that keeps your energy steady and your brain locked in and your cravings under control. This is the Fuel to Close framework. Step 1, we're going to talk about the energy foundation. Step 2, strategic timing. And step 3, automation. It took me building these 3 critical steps to transform my energy, my performance, and my body. So let's start with the problem. So the first system I had to build was around nutrition. I started training like crazy, right? But I was still crashing, and I thought this training would immediately set me on the right path. But it didn't. Not just the training, I needed to get the nutrition right. So here was the breaking point. I was losing my mental edge mid-conversation, and I couldn't stay focused throughout the whole entire day. So, I took on this training, this marathon training, and in my burnt out state, I ended up fumbling a $90,000 deal and burning a relationship with a customer. That customer never did business with us again. That was a huge wake-up call for me. And what I found was that I was treating my body like a garbage disposal while expecting peak performance. And it wasn't just mindset. I was eating bagels for breakfast, right? I was skipping lunch, then binging later on at night. I was living on caffeine and energy drinks. And throughout the day, just grazing, eating a little bit of this, a little bit of that, no real random strategy. Does this sound familiar to you? Because this is what happens with a lot of my clients. But the breakthrough is here. So I needed to treat nutrition like sales, meaning I need a foundation that works every time. Because in sales, you have openers that work. In nutrition, that opener is protein. So step 1, the prime pair rule. This is your foundation. You're going to pick protein plus one other energy source. So you're never going to have protein, carbs, and fat together, never carbs and fats alone. You're going to pick protein and a carb or a protein and a fat. Why does this work? Think about it. You're going to be removing 90% of processed foods, which are usually Frankenstein mixes of all of these. This is also going to eliminate decision fatigue. You're only going to be deciding on what protein am I going to eat? Okay, what carb am I going to eat? Or what fat am I going to eat? All right. So this is going to eliminate all of those decisions. Should I have this? Should I have that? Should I have this? Should I have that? No, you're only going to be sticking to one protein, one carb, or a fat. Makes this super simple for you. And having simple foods like this is going to optimize your energy, meaning it's going to stabilize your blood glucose so you don't feel the spikes and crashes of blood sugar. So why does this work for door knockers? So it keeps energy steady through hundreds of doors. Having a lot of protein stops hunger, therefore stopping distractions, keeps your brain sharp during objections, and helps you reduce those energy crashes that kill your afternoon sales. So we're eating for performance here, right? So here are some food choices that work for you. Chicken breast, lean steak, lean ground beef, eggs, Greek yogurt. Think about these things when you're thinking of protein. And for carbohydrates, keep it simple. Rice, oatmeal, potatoes. For fats, avocados, peanut butter, olive oil. And I know you guys are on the road, so here is a list of some popular fast food that works. So remember, protein and carb or protein and fat. For Wawa, we can do egg bites and avocado for a protein and fat meal, or you could do turkey hoagie, but hold the cheese. Okay, so you just have the protein and the carb, the turkey and the bread. For Chipotle, one of my favorites, double meat and guac for a protein and fat meal, or double meat and rice for protein and carbs. Also, Chick-fil-A, another favorite of mine, grilled nuggets and a side salad for a protein and fat meal, or you could do a grilled sandwich. Just hold the mayo, no cheese for the bread and the meat. And here are some popular foods of what not to eat. So bagels, donuts, pastries. These are just carbs alone, loaded with butter or cream cheese. It's gonna spike up your blood sugar, hold it there for a while, and then crash. And then you start feeling hungry. Don't just do coffee for breakfast. We need stable energy here. If you're just doing coffee for breakfast and fasting through the morning without tight structure through the mid-morning and the rest of the day, you're setting yourself up to fail and make bad decisions. And lastly, be practical. Anything fried during work hours, that's going to slow you down. It's going to make you feel full. Fuel like an athlete because that's what you are. Skip the fried food. And I recently did this presentation to a group of solar guys. And just a week later, I just followed up with a couple of them. Here's something that one of them said. I've been sticking to it very consistently. I had my best week last week. Results as far as numbers go. Energy-wise, I didn't crash at all last week. I've been super consistent with it, even on weekends. And now I know what you're thinking. Results as far as numbers go? What does that actually mean? We'll get to that. But right now, I want you to pause. Okay? I want you to pause this video, Right now, plan tomorrow's breakfast and set a reminder alarm. I want you to text yourself eggs and avocado, Greek yogurt and nuts. My recommendation for the morning breakfast is having a protein and fat meal. This gives you sustained morning energy without affecting your blood sugar too much. You get to leverage your natural, well rested state and then use carbs later on, especially for the mid afternoon and evening door knocking or meetings that are super important for you. The timing problem. Okay, so the timing problem. Back to the story. Here I am training for this half marathon that I've taken up to win this $10,000 from my CEO. Now I'm eating protein at every meal. Now my energy is getting better for a while, but I was still having inconsistent days. Then the crisis came that revealed everything. I'm going to talk about a deal real quick that I had with a customer. The customer committed to a deal, shook on it digitally, right? Customer committed, sent the money. Now we're waiting for their pickup, the picking up of the goods. But apparently, the deal fell apart on their end. They were ghosting me and I didn't know why. Turns out they were trying to figure out a way to salvage it. But at the end of the day, they wanted to get out of the deal. And because it's been weeks since they had promised the pickup already, there was nothing really we could do. And then they began threatening lawsuits, and that really stressed me out. So here I am trying to negotiate, right? Negotiate a way to make this right between their company, myself, and them personally, my CEO too. And while all this is happening, I'm letting other deals fall by the wayside. So this big crisis was weighing on me mentally. And this is where I discovered this pattern. When my energy was stable, I could handle multiple high pressure situations simultaneously. But when I'm running on fumes, when I don't have structure into my day, one crisis would derail my whole entire pipeline. And the difference between those two scenarios? Simple. Eating every 3 to 4 hours versus going 6 or more hours between meals. And this is why door-to-door sales guys crash. Okay. So first, you're walking 5 miles a day. In that time, you're skipping meals or you're mixing carbs and fat together. What happens is that spikes your blood sugar drops. And when that blood sugar drops, your brain begins working harder because it doesn't have the fuel. And then you start experiencing those crash behaviors. And I know a lot of us don't like to identify with crash behaviors, but here's what that looks like. You're sitting in your car, you're scrolling instead of knocking. You're forgetting homeowners' names mid-conversation. You're losing that confident edge during objections. You're not as funny as usual, right? You can't crack jokes. Your patience is lost. And lastly, you're too foggy just to push for the close. That's what a crash looks like. And what's the fix? Simple. Eat every 4 hours, whether you're hungry or not. So this is step 2. It's called the 4-hour rule. So at 8 to 9 a.m., you're having your normal breakfast. I'm recommending protein and fat. So think of eggs and avocado, Greek yogurt and nuts. At 12 to 1 p.m., you're having a protein and carb lunch. This is going to fuel you through the early afternoons. So chicken and rice, or you could go turkey sandwich, no cheese. And lastly, at 3 to 4 p.m., you're having that protein snack. Think protein bar, Greek yogurt and berries. Never going more than 4 hours without eating. And then this 3 to 4 p.m. snack, this is going to fuel you to get you through all the way up through 7, 8 p.m. So think back a second. What time did you last eat today? Now add 4 hours to that time. Are you past the 4-hour mark now? So eating 4 hours, what does this actually do? So I asked him about those results, right? And he says, I'm more focused throughout the entire day. I don't find myself sluggish or tired. But I say, more set appointments. I had my all-time high last week of 13 sets. And I was like, what was your average for setting appointments? His average is about 6 or 7. So he nearly doubled his average just by eating and fueling right and with structure. So here's action step number 2. Pause your video again. Set 3 phone alarms right now. 8 a.m. is fuel time, 12 p.m. is fuel time, 4 p.m. is fuel time. Take the time to go into your app and do that right now, even if it's just a protein bar. Eat something to keep your blood sugar from crashing. So now, here I am, training. Let's get back to the story. I had the prime pair rule, the what, and I also had the when, the 4-hour rule, but I still needed to know the how. So I had the first 2 systems working, energy is way better, more confidence in my work and race training. But then, life gets crazy, right? We have life, work stress, travel, family. I needed a system that worked even when I didn't feel like following it. Next, step number 3, automation. Make it automatic. Because I don't want you guys thinking about nutrition all day. I just want you guys to follow a system. So step 1, the energy foundation, the prime pair rule, protein and carb or protein and fat. I'm going to keep repeating that because that is extremely important. Step number 2, eat and hydrate systematically, right? Every 4 hours. And lastly, step number 3, here we are, make it run itself. So here are the 4 simple rules that'll help you make sure this gets executed on a daily basis. Number 1, plan tomorrow's food today. This is going to prevent bad decisions when you're tired. When you wake up and you know exactly what you're going to eat in the morning, you know exactly what you're going to eat in the middle of the day, and in the evening, you have exactly what you need to eat. You're not going to have to spend mental energy thinking about what to eat all the time. Number 2, keep backup protein in your car. Protein bars, jerky, beef sticks, have a little cooler and have that stuff in there. This is going to make sure that you don't miss the 4-hour rule, even if you can't have the perfect meal. Rule number 3, eat the same 2 meals for a week. This is going to remove decision fatigue. This gets into meal prepping, but you can just go to the same restaurant, go to the same fast food joint, and order the same prime pair. And this is going to make sure, again, you're not spending time deciding on what to eat. And lastly, rule number 4, if you mess up, restart at the next meal. There's so many guys that would just mess up once and then throw the rest of their day away and ruin perfectly good night for appointment setting and closing appointments. You don't have to do that. Don't let one bad choice ruin the whole entire day. When you have a system like this, it beats willpower. You're already dealing with rejection. You're dealing with stress. You're making decisions all day. You're in the hot sun. You have to be automating your fuel like you automate your pitch. And when you automate all of these decisions, you no longer need willpower. So now, action step number 3, pause this video. Create your complete tomorrow plan right now. Decide on your morning fuel. You've already done that. Decide on your lunch fuel, your mid-afternoon fuel, and also make sure you're getting hydrated as well. Repeat this for 3 days straight. Same plan. So there you have it. This is the 3 systems framework. You have your system 1, the energy foundation, the prime pair rule, protein and carb or protein and fat, never just carbs and fat alone. Next, strategic timing. You have this as well. Eat every 4 hours. And lastly, automation. Make it run itself. You have your 4 rules that'll make sure that you do this on a consistent basis. So now you have 2 options. You can try to figure this out on your own, like I did, spend months testing, tweaking, second guessing your meals. Or you could skip the trial and error and follow the exact process I used and that my clients used to dial in their energy, get shredded, drop 25 pounds without falling behind in sales. Book a 15-minute call with me and my team by clicking the link below and filling out an application. What you'll get in that, you'll get a custom training plan so you can build a body that looks sharp and performs under pressure. No more random workouts. You also get a custom nutrition plan with exact meals, macros, and food pairings so you know exactly what to eat and when. You'll also get weekly check-ins to review your progress, make adjustments, and keep you on track. Daily accountability as well, so you don't fall off when work gets crazy or life hits hard. And lastly, we give you all the tools that make it easy and that gives you the support that you need. You'll get a dedicated client app. You'll get food swaps, restaurant and travel protocols, grocery guides, everything designed to work in real life, not just a spreadsheet. All of these things together, they work. This helped Mark. He dropped 60 pounds and became an endurance athlete. He's racing 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons now. There's always a race on the horizon for him. It helped Antoine go from soft to shredded. He dropped 25 pounds in this whole entire process. Look at this guy. Insane. It also helped Chandra cut 18 pounds of fat. He did this over 8 weeks. Now he's a sales guy that kills his appointments with confidence and vigor. So if you're ready to drop the 25 pounds, feel sharp, get shredded every day, and build a body that earns respect, book your 15-minute call right now using the link below. Because this is the reality of things. The average tenure is 1 to 2 years. There's high turnout, burnout, energy crashes, destroying careers in this industry, in sales, and that's limiting your potential. And have your competitive advantage right here. This is the solution. While your competition is fading by 3 p.m., you can be closing deals at 6 p.m. with the same energy you had at 9 a.m. This is the real choice you're making today. So a year from now, you could either be that guy closing more deals while the sun goes down, or the guy that's scrolling on his phone because he's just burnt out. Which one do you want to be? And really, there are not a lot of things you can control. You can't control your God-given talents. You can't control what territory you're running. And you can't control your luck. But you can control what you're fueling, right? You can control your energy. That is something you have 100% control over. And think about this. What is it really costing you? You burning out midday, burning out midweek, when those are your prime hours? How many more deals could you close if you truly were as sharp at 6 p.m. as you were at 9 a.m.? Your competition is out there. And what guy would you rather them be facing? Would you want them to be facing that guy who's distracted, on his phone, drinking energy drinks, eating bagels for fuel? Or would you want them facing the business athlete version of you? Book your 15-minute call right now. Let's see what you're made of and let's get you dialed in.